Hi, this is Craig Ballantyne, and I'm going to teach you copy logic today, which takes the complex art of copywriting and simplifies it down and allows you to improve your sales letters and your emails in minutes. Okay. So if you are just starting your business, or if you've been in business for a while and you just haven't had a breakthrough hit with your copywriting, this is going to be great for your sales letters and your emails. Okay. It's a game. It's the ultimate game for making more money. And you're going to learn this along with the $100 resume tip inside of this presentation. Okay. So I want to first give a shout out to my mentor, Mark Ford. I bought Early to Rise, a website from Mark, who has started it in 2000. I mean, the guy has been super successful for years. He's made a ton of money with Agora Financial and all those companies. And he made a bunch of money with Early to Rise. He's retired multiple times. He's been so successful, sold it to me, and I've taken it over. Now, along the way, I've used Copy Logic, which is a book that he wrote with a guy named Mike Palmer. So actually, Michael Masterson is Mark Ford. Okay. So if you ever read a Michael Masterson book like Ready, Fire, Aim, The Pledge, 7 Years to 7 Figures, he wrote them all under this pen name, Michael Masterson. And then it's like, oh my gosh, now I'm just going to tell everybody my name is Mark Ford. Anyways, Mark Ford, Michael Masterson, same person. Mike Palmer, on the other hand, is an amazing copywriter who worked for Stansberry and wrote the End of America promotion. It was one of the contributors to it. And they made about $2 quadrillion with that. But they use the copy logic process. Now, the copy logic process isn't just for big companies. It is for solo entrepreneurs, beginners, intermediate, advanced. We use it all the time in my business. And it's, I use it in the fitness industry for my fitness business, which I retired from years ago. But man, that was a game changer because it allowed us to write hit VSLs and sales pages that made me money while I slept, the ultimate dream. Okay. So it doesn't matter where your copywriting skills are right now. It's going to take, again, this copy logic is going to take the complex art and science of writing copy and help you improve your sales messages in minutes. Okay. So shout out to Mike and Mark and Michael Masterson, the fake person, for putting this all together. Now, what is the purpose of copy logic? Why would you want to do it? And the purpose is to take B-level copy, the type of copy which might make you $100,000 in a year if you work 60 hours a week. And it goes through this methodical 20-minute process. And it turns that B-level copy into A-level copy, which then you improve overnight. And the next day you have this brilliant sales page, brilliant headline that is going to take you from a $100,000 business to, it could be $1 million, it could be 10 million. It's game changer. Could be $36,000 into $3 billion, like Porter Stansberry. I mentioned Mike Palmer wrote End of America before. And Porter Stansberry is a pretty interesting guy. And he built Stansberry Research from a startup. I'm not sure what $36,000 was, but there was a podcast that he did with somebody. And then they had an IPO that was like $3 billion in 2021. So Porter is just an amazing copywriter. He's an amazing thinker. He's a hardcore dude in many, many ways. I've gone to the Super Bowl with him. I've gone to some very expensive dinners with him. Fun guy. And he uses the system. So it doesn't matter how successful you are. You have to leave your ego aside and follow this step-by-step system for making more money. And basically, it's going to turn any boring copy into gold, B copy into A copy. And I have used this with dozens and dozens of clients in my mastermind groups in the fitness industry, in the construction industry, real estate industry, to take their headlines and just improve them so quickly. It's like you take this boring headline, like how to lose weight. You see this all the time in people's article titles, their sales letters. Like nobody's going to read how to lose weight because there's something much more interesting, like keto diet secrets to losing 17 pounds in the next 14 days. Are you going to read keto secrets to lose 17 pounds in 14 days? Or are you going to read an article or a sales page called how to lose weight? Obviously, you're going to go with something that's much more exciting. So the copy logic process, if you were doing with this with somebody whose headline said how to lose weight, you would improve it. And this is the video sales letter that made millions of dollars for me in the fitness industry. And instead of it saying how to lose weight, the headline was, watch this video, the amazing flat belly secret of a California working mom. And it was a true story of a California working mom who went to the grocery store, and the person behind the till said, do you want the seniors discount? And she was 45 years old. And that story, or that moment, inspired her to go and get my program and then lose all this weight. And then the next thing she knows, she looked 20 years younger because she was 20 years younger. And we wrote this video sales letter around her story and ended up making a lot of money for us because it's an exciting story. It's a whole lot better than how to lose weight. So back to the copy logic process. Again, it's about 20 minutes and you're going to need other people. Okay. So you can't do this by yourself. You're going to need minimum of 4, maximum of 6 people, open-minded, no ego. If somebody makes a suggestion and you take it so hard that you get angry, can't play this game. And then you're going to need some sales copy. You're going to need headline and lead. You can also use it with email subject lines and email body, but it's really for long sales letters and video sales letters. But you're going to need the copy, you're going to need the people, you need 20 minutes. Okay. You don't need any fancy tools. You really don't need to be an expert in copywriting. So, those people just need to understand the marketplace that you are going into. So if you are a personal trainer, you need a couple other personal trainers, maybe a client. And as long as they understood the rules of the game, they could really improve it in 20 minutes. Okay. Now you're going to need the people. So who are these 4 to 6 people? You're going to need the copywriter. So whoever wrote the copy, if it's you, then obviously you need to be involved. If it's somebody you paid to write the copy, they need to be involved. You need somebody to act as the timer, but they're also going to participate in the game. You need somebody to act as the scorer. They're going to participate in the game. And then you need at least 1 and no more than 3 other people. So you got these people in a room, you got the copy up on PowerPoint or presentation, or you've got, just up on a chalkboard or something, or a flip chart, whatever. And now you're going to work through that headline. You're going to work through the headline, and you're going to work through the first 500 words of the copy, which is known as the lead. We'll get to that in a moment. So the setup and prep work that needs to be done for these folks. All right. So the copywriter really has to drive it. They pick the meeting time. Okay. Then the copywriter has to do the work of writing the headline and the lead, the 500 words. And then the copywriter has to set the headline and the lead to the group. Then it also needs to be explained to the other people in the group, like, here's our market. Here's what we're trying to sell. Here's the price point. Here's kind of the zeitgeist. Like, here's, what a lot of people are talking about in the industry. It's just to set it. So it's like, you wouldn't bring like a garbage man in here and say, okay, here, and then like give him this weight loss. And, I don't know anything about weight loss. So like, who are you selling this to? Like, what's the whole point? You need to give that background. So pick the meeting time, then give everybody the copy about 24 hours in advance. And then explain at the meeting, you explain, this is our demographic. This is what they're buying now. This is what they're going to get with our copy. Here's the price point. You have all the background information to go, okay, now I see what I would probably want to say to this person to get their attention, generate the interest, desire, and get them to take action, the AIDA formula for copywriting. Now, at the meeting, copywriter describes the offer in the audience. And then the copy logic process, the 20-minute process goes like this. You're going to rate it. Then you're going to go through a little process that improves it, that has very strict rules. Then you're going to rate it again. You're going to see this improvement. And then the copywriter is going to go and take those changes and implement the changes. Okay. After the meeting, the copywriter has 24 hours. That's why it's overnight improvement, to go and make the changes and launch it, get it out there. Okay. So that is key. So how would you use this in the real world? Okay. So for a financial newsletter company, you might have a stock picking offer. So you come up and say, okay, so we have this stock picking offer. Our demographic is mom and pop investors. They make about $100,000 per year. They want to get great returns. They buy from these other websites, et cetera. Now, then you would go and you say, here's our headline. And then you would do the lead later on. And then after the meeting, the copywriter would go, oh man, these are great changes. I'm going to go and make them. I update the website. I update the lead, you get it up, and, then you email your list and you promote your offer. And that's what it's all about. If you were running a weight loss offer, you would come in, you'd explain to everybody, hey, we sell to women over 40. This program is a supplement. Price point is a little more expensive than most of the other stuff in the industry. So keep that in mind as we're going through it. And, they have like 3 kids and they're stay-at-home mom, and, they haven't lost the baby weight. Oh, okay, great. All right, let's rock and roll. So that's how it would go. So the background information there. So you got these 4 to 6 people in the room. They understand what the point of the copy is. Now we go to the scoring. Okay. So one person, as I mentioned before, is the scorer. I'm not sure if that's an actual term or not, but they're going to collect the scoring and rating from the other people in the group, average it out, and give an average score. So the way that you score this, all 4 to 6 people at the meeting are going to rate the copy, including the copywriter. And you're going to rate it on a scale of 1.0 to 4.0, with 1.0 meaning That headline does not make me interested in any way, shape, or form, not even a tiny 1 point interested to read more. And then on the flip side, 4.0 means I cannot wait to read more. I'm going to rip the screen down because I got to read the rest of the sales letter. So 4.0 is amazing. 1.0 is the worst thing ever. And if your copywriter brings you anything below a 2.8, they should be tarred and feathered, because that is pretty poor. So 2.8, if you guys don't get like a 2.8 in the rating, copywriter has not done their job. You can still play the game, but the copywriter hasn't done their job. So example, all right, back to that financial newsletter thing. If copywriter brought this headline said, okay, so, our offer is about picking stocks, and it's the mom and pop investor, and they make about $100,000 a year, and they want to make money in the stock market. Okay, here's my headline idea. Get this. You guys are going to be blown away by this. Headline is how to pick stocks, right? Everybody be like, they'd be generous. It'd be like 1.5 max, maybe 1.3, 1.7. Oh, so this is brilliant. No, it's not. It sucks. So, you get 1.5 at best. Now, on the other hand, this is an actual ad, I think, on Google Display or Native or something that I saw. And it was Japanese billionaire reveals $100 million investment in cutting edge tech and technology. Oh man, this is curiosity, big idea, big promise, social proof for the billionaires doing it. Now, I'll give that a 3.1. You remember the scale is 1.0 to 4.0. 3.1, 3.2, 3.5. Someone like, I usually come in real low going, that's 2.8. That could be better. Come on. Right. So I'd probably look at the best headline ever and I'd go, nah, it's okay. But a lot of people will be on the flip side. They'll go, whoa, man, that's amazing. How does pick stocks like 2.1? And then this one, it's like 5.5. You can't give a 5.5. You can only go up to 4. So anyways, that's a much better headline. Now, let's break it down here. You got the people in the room. You've got the background. Now you put the headline up and you rate it. So we're still just doing the rating. So everybody votes. Everybody gives their rating. The person assigned as the scorekeeper takes, it's only 4 to 6 numbers. So you're going to get 4 people or 6 people, give them a number, and then they're going to average it. So you can do that like that. And now you have the pre-copy logic score. The goal of the rest of the time is to massively improve what you started with. Okay. So you got that first headline and you're like, we want to improve this. It's very simple. Now the timing, this is critical. You're going to have another person designated as a timer. Very simple job. It's just 5 minutes on a stopwatch. Okay. Everybody's got a stopwatch on their iPhone. Boom. 5 minutes. And it's good to give a 1 minute warning. So once you hit minute number 4, go, hey, 1 minute left. Now the person who's doing the timing, as well as the person who is doing the scoring, as well as the copywriting, are involved in the next improvement phase. They get to shout out ideas. Okay. So just because you're a timer doesn't mean you don't get to shout out ideas. You're still involved. So there's 5 minutes on the clock and you got to announce when there's 1 minute left. Now we get to the meat of it, the rules of the copy logic. The 4 to 6 people in the room, anybody can make specific changes. Anybody can shout them out. However, no opinions are allowed. So if we have that headline up there, like if we have that headline, whether it's the how to pick stocks or the Japanese billionaire one, you can't say, oh, I don't like Japanese billionaire because it sounds racist. That's not allowed because that's an opinion and doesn't have a specific change. On the flip side, if you were thinking that, Japanese billionaire doesn't sound realistic, I'd like to change it to Japanese multimillionaire. So that's the specific change. You say, change Japanese billionaire to Japanese multimillionaire. That's allowed, check mark. The opinion of, I don't like Japanese because it sounds racist, is an opinion not allowed. What you would say there, if you didn't like it, you would say, delete the word Japanese. And then I'll show you what happens after somebody makes the specific changes, is we vote. So let's say we have that Japanese billionaire headline up there and the timer goes, okay, 5 minutes on the clock and go. Usually what happens is if you're doing this with a bunch of beginners, nobody says anything. But the whole point is that you just shout out a change, a very specific change. So you read it, you know the audience, you know the price point, you know who you're trying to help. And you go, delete Japanese. You don't say why. You don't have to justify it. You just say delete Japanese. And then here's what happens next. After a specific change has been suggested by someone of the group, everybody else has to rapidly, quickly, from their gut, vote with either better, worse, or neutral. And this is not a time for you to be slow like a Texan and go, worse. No, you got to be like a New Yorker and go worse or better or neutral. Okay, so better, worse, or neutral. You have three choices: better, worse, or neutral. Everybody says it as quickly as possible from their gut. What's your gut feeling about that specific change made by the other person? And then you got 4 to 6 people in there. Usually it's a consensus. Usually everybody goes, wow, that's better. Better. Or usually everyone says worse. Sometimes people say neutral, because it's like, it doesn't really change. Inside their mind, they're saying it doesn't really change anything. So neutral. They can't give their opinion, but they just go neutral. And then sometimes you get better, worse, and neutral at the same time. Now, here's what happens next. After everybody has voted better, worse, or neutral, if the majority of the answers from the people, the votes, are better, then the copywriter must make the change. And it's pretty cool. Like, you should be doing this. If you're doing this using PowerPoint in front of a group, you got to be like in a Word document making the change. So if it was like delete Japanese and everyone said better, then he would just delete Japanese from the headline in the Word document. If it was on a whiteboard, you would erase it. If you were using a flip chart, you have to like scribble it out. So flip chart's kind of not the best way, but whiteboard or, Word document on a projector. If the majority say worse, then no change is made. Okay. Worse. All right, great. We'll keep the Japanese billionaire. And if the bottom one is supposed to say majority is neutral, then it's up to the copywriter. The copywriter gets the final say, like tie goes to the runner and all that sort of stuff. In baseball, the copywriter is the person with the final say. So again, the correct use is a specific change. No opinions allowed. No running of the mouth, nothing but here's my specific change. So for example, if you had the headline, how to lose weight, and you said, okay, 5 minutes on the clock and go, somebody said, how to lose belly fat in 6 weeks. Change the headline, complete headline change to how to lose belly fat in 6 weeks. And everybody votes on that specific change. They don't say, well, let's just change weight to belly fat. That's my vote. That's not a vote. That's not allowed. It's better, worse, or neutral. Now, if everybody said, if you got a bunch of neutrals and then two worses in there, it's still good because now it might get somebody to go, oh, I know what it is. And then they make, how to rapidly lose post-baby belly fat in 42 days or less. Oh, that's the better. Bang, you got it. So even if your idea gets voted down, it's still going to be helpful. So you got to make those suggestions. So again, this is why the ego and, you can't be hurt by somebody saying worse. You just have to throw out ideas because, here's why they wrote the book. They wrote the book because they had been writing, Mark and Mike Palmer and these guys, they've been writing copy for decades. And what they found is if somebody gave Mark or Mike copy to review, and then they made some changes in red ink on the paper and they sent it back, most copywriters were getting all butthurt. And they're like, man, how can we improve the copy without offending the copywriter and not just being me giving suggestions because there's other smart people. And so over the time, they evolved this process. So the copywriter has to come in with an open mind and understand, because they're getting paid in performance, right? Copywriters in most cases are getting paid a base salary and then performance on how well their work does. They should be loving this because like, man, I'm getting free help. I'm the one who's going to get paid on how good this headline is and everybody else is going to help me. Sick. So they should be excited to do this, set the ego aside, be open and go in and improve that headline. That's the key. So that's a specific change, and that's the okay to do it. The incorrect example is, again, an opinion. Like somebody saying, I don't like the phrase lose weight because that's like, makes people feel bad and they're going to get anxiety. And, I'm a social justice warrior here for people who don't want to lose weight. That's not welcome. The opinion is not welcome. Only specific changes are allowed. You also can't ask questions. Do you think we should say lose weight? That's not how it's done. It's, if you don't like lose weight, you got to suggest either a deletion or you got to come up with something better. How to get a slim belly in 6 weeks. Better, worse, neutral. Then it's up to the other people to have their say. It's true democracy, except when it becomes a dictatorship with the copywriter who gets to choose whether or not they use it if the tie is there. And then I think we have another incorrect usage. No, it's the opinions and the questions. So correct usage is very simple. It's just really hard to do because everybody loves giving an opinion. But the correct usage is specific suggestions only, which are a change, an addition, or a deletion. So I want to add 42 days to how to lose weight in 42 days. Better. I want to delete how to and just have it say lose weight in 42 days. Worse. Or the total changes, etc. So change, add, or delete, no opinions allowed. All right. So I mentioned before that there was a $100 resume tip. And I was reading this book by Scott Adams, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. It's a really good book. This kind of side note to the copywriting stuff. It's a really good book for a youngster who thinks that they should be successful overnight, because Scott's story is a classic of connecting the dots looking backwards, as Steve Jobs said. We don't connect dots looking forwards, we connect dots looking backwards, which means we're all going through this hero's journey. And when we have success, it's because of some ups and some downs in our life. It's like, when I had this success, I learned how to sell. When I had this down, I totally learned how to persevere through the toughest things. I combined how to learn sell and how to persevere, and I had another high point. And then I made a stupid mistake by investing my money improperly. So now I know how to invest my money improperly, and I'm way up here. And that's life, is the accumulation of all these data points and improving. So he failed at a lot of things, but because he failed and learned, he put all these things together. He talent stacked, as he talks about in his books, and he got super rich with his comic. But that was after 16 years in corporate environment, screwing up a lot. So one of the things that Scott talks about in this book is the $100 resume tip and simplifying copy. He was talking about simplifying a resume. And the tip for the $100 resume was, he read this somewhere, that you take a look at your resume. And the question is, for $100, which one of these, how many words can you delete? Because a lot of resumes are full of fluffy words and stuff. So if I was going to give you $100 to delete as many words as possible from your resume, which ones would you choose? And it simplifies a resume and it gets down to one page. And it's the same with copywriting. Most people have way too much stuff in their copy, too many words, too many adjectives, too many adverbs, etc. So you want to simplify through deletion. What words would you delete for $100? And this is really important for email copy, because email, the subject line, only a little bit of is seen, right? So you got to get a big message across in a short number of words. And then inside the copy of an email, you got to keep it as short as possible, 300, 500 words. Get your point across, tell that story, and get people moving to take action. And that comes from editing, right? Editing is the secret. So think about that $100 tip. How can I remove the words? So you've gone through this 5-minute exercise of people giving changes, additions, and deletions, and you voting better, worse, or neutral. And this copy has evolved and metamorphosized like a caterpillar into a monarch butterfly, right? So after 4 minutes, the timer goes, hey, 1 minute left, guys and gals. And then 5 minutes, okay, time's up. And you should have a better headline, but let's vote. So you go to the second scoring, same thing as before. The headline is up there and you go on a scale of 1.0 to 4.0. And if you had an average of 2.8 the first time, I mean, I've done this hundreds of times, and we've never had something like at a 2.8 not go to a 3.1, if not a 3.5. You get this new average score. And again, the copywriter goes and implements the changes. Just like that, you improve the headline. And the headline is so darn important. This can be the difference between, again, like a $50,000 business and $1 million business, a simple headline. Because the headline, somebody lands on your page, whether it's a headline or a headline for a video sales letter, if it sucks, you're going to lose like 99.9% of your visitors like that. But if your headline is good, it is going to keep your visitors on the page for a lot. And the job of the headline is get them to read the next line. And the job of the next line is get them to read the next and the next and the next and the next until they get to the social proof and the guarantee and the offer and the PS and all that stuff. The job is to move them along. But if the first thing fails and they don't even see how great your offer is, you're never going to succeed. And people are like, oh man, I got to improve my offer. No, you got to improve your headline so that people even read to the offer. So that is something that's very important. So after you've done the 5 minutes on the headline, now you do a harder part, which is the lead, because it's 500 words. And so you're really going to need this on paper. People are really going to have to do their homework by reading it in advance and coming with very specific suggestions. But that's the deal. Again, it's 5 minutes. You rate it, you improve it, you rate it again, you cut it down, you delete, add, and change. And that lead really needs to hook people into the copy. So you're really looking for the emotional stuff in there. Now, I'll leave you with one bonus technique that they share in the book, Copy Logic by Michael Masterson and Mike Palmer. So get the book to learn more on this. But the bonus technique is called the Cub technique. And that's really easy. And you can get anybody to do this. You can get your grandma to do it. You can get your teacher to do it. You can get your friends to do it. And this stands for simply reading the copy and having 3 different colored highlighters, or doing it online and highlighting it, or, whatever. And CUB stands for confusing, unbelievable, and boring. So if you're reading it and anything in the copy is confusing, like, oh, I don't understand how this technique works, or I don't understand this person's story, or I don't understand this claim, you just, maybe you yellow highlight it. Anything confusing gets yellow highlighted. Unbelievable. If you read something, that can't possibly be true. Like this person's success story, or this claim, or, how this works. I don't believe it. Maybe gave that a red. And then boring, you're like, man, I don't want to read this anymore because it's so boring, or this doesn't belong here. It can go, this person's story, this explanation. I don't need to know the science behind this. You can just do that in blue. So you got the yellow, the pink or red or whatever in blue. And now the person can go, if it's confusing, they can rewrite it. If it's unbelievable, they need to substantiate it. And if it's boring, they just cut it. And the next thing you know, you've improved the copy again. You've simplified it. So Copy Logic. There's a book. I gave you a breakdown. You got to do it. It's so simple. It's so fun. It's so effective. I mean, we've just lit people up doing this. Bedros and I used to do this all the time with our clients. We've had people cry about how helpful it was. Everybody loved to do it because it's a good game. Everybody loves to get a clap when they make a great suggestion. And it's amazing what can be done when you follow this little process. So Copy Logic, that's it. I'm out. Craig Ballantyne here from Early to Rise. Thanks to my mentor, Mark Ford, AKA Michael Masterson, for putting together Copy Logic. Please use this. I mean, this could be wealth-changing, life-changing, wealth-generating information here. So use it, and then let me know in the comments below, or send me an Instagram message at Real Craig Ballantyne. Let me know how it helped. This will change your life. And I look forward to seeing you at a mastermind meeting where we do this for your business. Talk to you soon.